Hello and welcome to the Corner. If you've joined us in the past, you know that this is Marion, Kansas's version of maybe not 60 Minutes, maybe not The View, maybe not The Talk, but it's our little corner of the world where we talk about Marion and the surrounding area. This is The Corner. It is available on mctv20.com. You can go online and check that out anytime. You can get Marion High School sporting events, plays, concerts, things of that nature, as well as the past versions of this program, and hopefully you'll like it enough you'll check back in the future to get some other editions of The Corner. Also, you can see this program on Marion County Eagle Communications Cable Television Channel 20. So if you're in Marion, Hillsborough, Lincolnville, Florence, the County Lake, check out Channel 20 at any time. You might find the program. You might find, as I said before, a Marion football game or other programming, including church services around the county that you might find interesting. Now, today we're doing a special edition of The Corner. Rather than talking about events all around the city or various things, we're going to talk about something very specific. We're going to talk about the Marion County Food Bank. And you see on your screen Marion County Resource Center and Food Bank. And I have with me today Jerry Henderson. Jerry, you are one of the volunteers that participates in the food bank. Are you the big kahuna? Are you the main guy?
No, I don't think so. Probably the little guy.
No one's ever described you as a little guy, Jerry.
I throw straight lines out pretty well.
Well, Jerry, tell me just a little bit. You are here as a representative of the food bank, its board, and that organization to talk about what's going on with the food bank, some of the changes that have been made recently. But first, give me a little background on you. To the best of my knowledge, you didn't grow up in Marion or Marion County or this area. I think did you grow up in the Lakin area? Am I right about that?
Yes, hometown Lakin, Kansas, way out in southwest Kansas.
And if you went there, you're not a Bronco, you're a Bronc. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
I'm impressed. I'm
I'm
impressed.
Jerry, I know a little bit of your professional background. Not everyone watching this program might know that. So tell me a little bit about you and what brought you to Marion County.
My pleasure. Kathy and I moved here in 1998, and I accepted a position as superintendent of schools here. I served in that capacity until I retired in 2004. So I've been living in Marion, retired, almost twice as long as I worked in Marion.
Wow, that surprises me.
Well, that's part of the story too. When we came here, Kathy and I had talked about future plans and next steps, and one of them was never any firm plans to staying in Marion, Kansas. But after we'd been here a couple of years and got involved in the community and in a church here, when we were retired, there was really no thought of going anywhere else. We just loved the place.
You're currently involved in the food bank. It's my understanding that you were involved with the food bank in its previous incarnation.
Right.
Talk a little bit about how you first got involved in the effort.
At our church, Marion Presbyterian Church, I was a member a little over 4 years ago of our mission committee when our chairman, Jackie Volbrecht, suggested that we might be a little more purposeful in the support that our church was giving to the food bank. At that time, it was bring a can of food once in a while and throw it in a basket, and when it gets full, we'll carry it down to the food bank, which was then housed in the alley side of Valley Methodist Church in a very small room, no heating and air conditioning, one refrigerator with an overhead freezer. So we, to get more purposeful, we designed what we call Shared Sunday. And that Sunday is the fourth, or the Sunday just before the fourth Monday of every month. The fourth Monday, because at that time, my wife Kathy and Jackie Volbrecht were volunteering at the food bank at the Valley Church. And we wanted to keep that going, some tie-in between our giving on a Sunday and how we dispersed the food on a Monday morning. So the Shared Sunday was born, like I say, a little over 4 years ago. Since that time, Jackie and I have never had less than $300, $275 to $300 each month to spend at Carlson's, and we spend it there every time, on usually perishables, because our people were bringing a lot of canned goods. So that's how it started. I was interested in the whole idea of...
I know we know, but you say perishables. We're talking milk, cheese, things of that nature.
Margarine, fruits and vegetables, fresh fruits and vegetables,
Sure. Okay.
potatoes, carrots. That's what we went shopping for every Monday following our shared Sunday.
Jerry, so we had the food bank. There were other folks involved in that. It wasn't just coming out of your church.
Right.
There was an organization, that may make it sound bigger than it was,
Right.
but there were people working on it.
Absolutely.
Was it broke? Did you need to fix it?
I wouldn't say it was broke. Janet Bryant, and before that, her mother, had been heading up that effort at the Valley Church for well over 30 years, making sure that it had volunteers to help people who came, donations to buy food, donations or organizing food drives to bring food into the food bank. And Janet was doing a marvelous job. But it just wasn't serving very many people. At the most, in a month at the Valley Church, we might serve 75 families, maybe 100 to 125 adults, by opening twice a week.
Am I right that it was partially limited by the facility itself?
Yes. One of the limiters was the fact that it had about a 5-step concrete stairway up into the door to that room. People who were infirmed at all, elderly people, those in wheelchairs, just couldn't get in there, so they didn't come.
Now, one of the things we're going to get to in a little bit and go through in a little detail, we even have some pictures, is the current facility,
Right.
which is a different facility. It's no longer located kind of in the heart of Marion near the Valley United Methodist. It's actually on Main Street. How did it come about that the food bank moved from the old facility to the new facility?
I was contacted by representatives from the Marion Advancement Campaign, MAC, through Roger Holter and Mayor Heitschmidt, to see if I would be interested in being involved in the expansion of the food bank into the facility at 1220 Main Street. Was a Phillips 66 station, then it was a Sinclair station. MAC had the facility for a while and had done quite a bit of remodeling, adding heating and air conditioning through the whole facility. And because of my involvement with the Shared Sunday and the fact that I really wanted to see this thing go, I agreed to take a part in that expansion. I also agreed at that point to serve on a newly formed board of directors that was pretty well handpicked by MAC, I think. I never did understand all of it, but I did have some input to that with both the mayor and the city administrator. And Janet Bryant, who I mentioned earlier, had just given tons of time to that, is one of the board members. Her daughter, Jan Helmer, that you're vaguely familiar with.
Right. Jan and I work together.
Yes. Is on our board and serves as our treasurer, as she did with the food bank before. Jackie Volbrecht is on the board of directors. Linda Ogden, who has been involved with about every helping thing in this town since I've been here, either as a grant writer or when she was working. And one of the people that's on there that I'm most proud of, Charlotte Coleman, is one of the graduates of our Circles initiative that tries to work with people who have gone through several generations of poverty and try to give them some ideas of how to work their way out of that. Charlotte has just brought a perspective to that board and our whole effort that is invaluable.
Gene jumped the gun on me just a little bit, and he put up some pictures that I was going to get into in a minute. But Gene, put those back up. You see them down low at the bottom of your screen, but put them up. the handsome gentleman at the upper left there is, of course, you,
Right.
Jerry.
Jackie's
And-
right to my left, and right below me is Jan.
Let me stop you.
Okay.
Jackie, you mentioned her earlier, and
Okay.
you mentioned the other young lady that we're going to identify in a moment as being involved in the Circles program. And I think I'm correct, Jackie was one of the driving forces in the Circles, I guess I'll call it initiative, in Marion County. And
Yes.
Jackie's in black and white up there with obviously the best photo
Yes.
with a puppy on the upper right. And then yellow beneath Jerry. Go ahead, Jerry.
That's Jan.
Jan Helmer and her mom, Janet Bryant, and her grandma were the ones you mentioned that have
Yes.
been in forever, and Jan's there now. To Jan's right in the blue is Linda Ogden, correct?
Correct.
And Linda, you mentioned, is one of your board members. Are these 6, is this the board that we're looking at here?
Right now. Yeah.
Okay.
And the one in the lower left-hand corner, that's Charlotte Coleman. That's the young woman that I'm just so proud of. She has made a statement early on, I'm not sure I can do this. I said, Charlotte, you are doing it. You're providing some insights to this board that don't come from other places. And so I think it's a good board. It's one that's Christ-centered. They're all believing Christians. And I don't mind telling you, that's one of the reasons that I'm going on with this. I take it very seriously. Christ in his ministry fed a lot of people, and before he left this earth told Peter 3 times, feed my sheep. I think he meant that. So that's a
Gene?
mission to me.
I'm not done yet, Gene. Put her back up one more time. Lower left, right corner. We don't want to shortchange Janet. That's
Right.
Janet Bryant. And
Right.
she's the one that kind of kept the heart beating on this organization for a
more
long
than
time.
more than 30 years, and still is a valued member of our board. Works
Yeah.
very very hard with the volunteers still.
One of the nice things, many times when something transitions from one point of organization or point of development to another and new people come in, it's very easy for the people who were in it before to, for whatever reason, walk away.
Right.
Janet has not done
She
that.
has not.
Um,
She has not.
Tell you what, this might be a good time. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after these words from some fine businesses with a little more information about the Marion County Food Bank.
Central National Bank proudly supports the students and staff of Marion Florence USD 408. Central National Bank has been providing Kansans with sound financial advice since 1884. We are dedicated to providing the quality service that makes our Marion County customers and the communities we serve successful. The officers and employees of Central National Bank work to be your financial resource of choice in the Marion County area.
At home or on the road, the Jerry Cady Agency sponsors our MCTV broadcast area. The MCTV crew relies on them to come through. If you rely on farming and growing of crops, the Jerry Cady Agency will be there for you too. They specialize in crop and hail insurance, but provide a wide range of quality insurance products while maintaining a commitment to always provide the best service possible to each and every customer. Contact Brad Cady at 382-3282.
When the Warriors cross the goal line, it's a Case & Son touchdown. Case & Son is an independent insurance agency representing many companies and offering a full line of property and casualty insurance, including home, auto, farm, business, and life. Case & Son is the oldest continuously operated business in Marion County. Just as MCTV counts on them for support, you can count on Case & Son Insurance. When time is called on the field, it's a Tampa State Bank timeout. Tampa State Bank provides support to MCTV and provides the best in banking services in Marion and Tampa. Tampa State Bank is one of the few locally owned banks in Marion County and offers a full range of banking services, including ATM service, internet banking, and all the modern conveniences. Tampa State Bank provides friendly, courteous officers and staff, as they have since 1901. When it comes to banking, see TSB.
Welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed some of our conversation with Jerry Henderson talking about the Marion County Food Bank. And as you see on your screen, there's an exterior shot of the food bank. Gene, why don't you go ahead and blow that up? Gene being our executive producer that we talk about, but we never show on screen. If you saw him, you'd know why. Jerry, this is the current Marion County Food Bank, Marion County Resource Center, perhaps that's the correct name for it.
Right.
You had mentioned that the facility was previously located in a small building or room near or
Right.
in Valley United Methodist. This is on Main Street, correct?
1220 East Main, as the sign says. Two resourceful fellows put that sign up right after he moved down there. Gene and I did that. One of the things, before you get away from that, Gene, too far, I want to re-emphasize the fact that there are no steps leading into that building. That was one of the real holdbacks of the place at the Valley Church. We're all on one level, just inside that door. Then it's what Gene's going to put up next, I think.
Before we leave, though,
okay.
There is also considerable parking outside
Yes.
that facility. So
Yes.
you not only don't have to go up or down steps to get in, you don't have a long walk
No.
to get into the facility itself.
None at all.
One other thing I noticed, and I made reference to, it's the Marion County Food Bank. We're talking about something in Marion that was in Marion. This is not just for Marion, correct?
No. One of the things we ask people when they come in is, do you live in Marion County? And we ask where that is. And we've had people, we call them neighbors, visit the food bank from every community in Marion County so far. Most of them come from Marion. The next, I think, is Peabody, then Florence and Hillsborough. But even the ones up, small communities up north, somebody has been there from each of those communities. And we try to get more. I have an appointment with some people down in Peabody next month to come and talk about what we do and perhaps solicit a little support from them. But it is Marion County. That's all we care. If you're hungry and live in this county, we're the place.
Let's go back to the pictures, Gene. We have what appears to be a counter, and
Right.
Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you, to the far right-hand corner, you see the lighted area. That's the door you saw from the outside. So if you walk through that outside door, to your right would be this counter. Now, if someone comes in, when do you open?
We're on Monday morning from 8:30 to noon, and on Thursday evening, and this is a change from what was before, we're open from 4:30 to 7.
So Monday morning and Thursday evening.
Thursday evening. In the old location, both Monday and Thursday, the same times, but on the Thursday was from 9 to noon, just like Monday morning. So it was only open during business hours. We had no evening opening. So we changed the Thursday to some of our people that need help with food still have jobs. There are a lot of working poor in this county. So Monday morning and Thursday evening.
And is the fact that you are able to do that, to have the Monday morning and the Thursday evening, is that partly due to the fact that there is some increase in volunteers, people who are helping with the project?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Before, at the Valley Church, normally just one volunteer was there, managing the whole thing. We find it a little difficult to really take care of people as we want to without 3 or 4 in the bank now. And somebody checking people in to make sure that they live in Marion County and to get things that we need for our reporting back to the Kansas Food Bank warehouse.
okay, Gene, let's go back to that. Jerry made reference to checking people in. So someone walks through the door,
Right.
the counter's there on their right. Is that
Right.
where they check in?
Right there.
Okay. And so what kind of questions, other than do you live in Marion County, what else do they get asked?
We want to know how many are in their family. Of those, how many are seniors, how many male adults, how many female adults, and how many children.
And that information is useful how or why?
One, we just want to know where, and we ask where people are coming from, what particular city. We want to know that. We have to make a report monthly to the Kansas Food Bank organization in Wichita of who we're serving.
Okay.
And those are the things that we have to ask.
Okay. So someone comes in to get a little assistance. They go through that process, and
Right.
then when they're standing with that counter on their right, to their left is this. Is that correct?
That's kind of a waiting area. We want people not to be just behind that. You'll see the shelves and the refrigerators where the food is stored. So people have a place here where they can sit and wait a little bit. To the right of that, across that room, the 4-H put in what they call a book swap, and they come and manage that. Somebody that wants to come and bring a book and take a book, they can.
Oh.
Children, there are a couple of play areas there, and children get books and read them. You're amazed how much that goes on. But that's in that whole area right there.
Let's go to our next slide, Gene. Obviously, food.
Right.
That where we were looking before, we saw a fridge in the back. If I
Right.
walk straight ahead, would I see this?
Yes, there's two freezers, upright freezers in a corner. They're off to the right of where you saw those shelves.
Okay.
That shelf, and that's another freezer and a chest, or a refrigerator and a chest freezer, and three more refrigerators along the other wall. There you
Okay.
can see them.
Let's go back to the shelves if we can, Gene.
That's a double-sided shelf. They came out of the old Duckwall store. There's food on both sides of that, and it's pretty well stocked there right now. Usually it's a little better stocked when we're open. We've probably,
Now, I think one of the things that people would be interested in is the process. So I've come in and I've registered, and I live in Marion County, and here's the composition of my
Right.
family. And then you say, okay, or at some point in time, it's like, okay, you can collect some food or some assistance here.
Right.
Does someone walk with me and say you get 1 can of corn and 1 pack of hot dogs, or how does it work?
Someone will walk with you, but you do your shopping. We ask people to limit their shopping to the food they need for their family for a 2-week period.
Okay.
We had one time, say 1 week or 2 weeks or even a month, but we found that very hard to manage, and people just didn't have an idea what a month's food looked like.
That would be tough.
It really does. So we assist people as they need assistance, especially as it gets back to the freezers and we're dispensing meat, because we never have enough, well, no, I won't say never, but quite often don't have quite enough meat to go around of chicken and beef and pork. We always have hot dogs and bologna if we run out of the others. But our volunteers help our neighbors to select what they need for their family.
Okay. And is there a limit? If someone says, I need 3 pounds of ground beef, does someone say, no, you can only have 2?
No, we wouldn't be that abrupt. We would say probably 1 package of meat. Now, chicken,
Okay.
pork,
Okay.
whatever that is, because we try to make sure that everybody who comes, and we may have as many as 85 adults on any one visit. That happens regularly on Thursday night. We'll have that many people.
I think one of the questions that comes to people's minds when you're talking about something like this is donated labor, donated facility, donated food. Do you screen those who want assistance? Do you say,
No,
nope, you're
not really.
eligible?
We take no income data. We just want to know if they're in Marion County, and we ask them, don't take more than you need. Take what you need, but need what you take. That's a sign that's on the wall. If you're hungry and you live in Marion County, we want to help you. Could somebody game the system? Sure they could. I always respond to people who complain, oh, this such and such a people and such and shouldn't be. To come and one time spend an hour when we've got neighbors doing their shopping. Doug Shalene is one of our volunteers who came the first time and just kind of hung back, and then he came again and got more involved, and then he came again and started helping people. And I think Doug would tell you that the people who come to the food bank are there because they need some help. And we're not going to be judgmental. One of our volunteers said one time, I don't want you to ever put me in the place of being a food Nazi. That isn't my job. I want to help people
Well stated.
who need
Well
some help.
stated. One more thing I wanted to touch on, and then I want to talk a little bit about, you mentioned, I think, Invest an Acre. I want to talk about that. The red barrels. I work in the courthouse, and the other day we get an email saying there's a red barrel in the lobby of the courthouse, and we're going to do a little challenge. Each entity within the courthouse, your employees are challenged to see how many food items or cash you can donate, and then the county commissioners very nicely
Right.
agreed that if there was a certain level, I don't remember what it was pretty high,
Yes, I think 600 items.
number of 500 items. Okay, I'm getting off screen at 500 items. I liked your answer better.
Well, I think that's how many you ended up with.
Okay.
600,
Oh, yeah.
650.
Gotcha. But I
You
think the
beat your goal by
the
a lot.
threshold was for the goal was 500, and if we did that, the commissioners were going to donate their own, I think, hot dogs and chips and pop or something. They're going to
Yeah.
have a picnic for people who work in the courthouse, and I think that's coming up pretty quick here. And that was quite a fun deal, and there was a little rivalry within the courthouse and the county shop people and so on. But it meant, okay, there's a red barrel. I just assumed that somebody had a red trash can. That's what they're going to put it in. After the fact, I learned that no, there are red barrels around.
Right.
Can you speak to that?
Sure. It was a part we called it the fall harvest. Again, that was one of Jackie Volbrecht's ideas to do this in conjunction with Old Settlers Day, to have a food drive from the 10th of September through Old Settlers Day, put red trash cans, 5 of which were donated by Ace Hardware. We bought the other 5 at cost and put them in the banks, in the courthouse, in the hospital. I forgot what the other was. Anyway, we had 6 of these out and just invited people to fill them up. Well, the people in the courthouse went way and beyond that. I think one of our board members had something to do with that. She even told me one time, "We're going to win that." And while
She told me that too and put a lot of pressure on me.
while we had some excellent participation from a lot of people, that barrel got filled up a lot of times. The pharmacy was one of the other places where it was. We had well over a ton of food that came to the food bank that at one time was in one of those red barrels.
So is that something that will come back in the future?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
You'll see those again.
So
we didn't throw the barrels away.
if
We
you're,
even used again at the parade, you may have noticed.
well, that's right. Yeah.
I pushed one of them down the,
So and Jeremiah Lang, I saw him had a cart, and I looked, as he went by, I realized his son was in
yeah,
the
it had an arm that kept
barrel.
coming out. Yes, yes.
So if you see the red barrels around town, folks, you know that they're not a fire hydrant. It's an opportunity to drop a non-perishable food item in and help out the food bank. Now, Jerry, let's. I know we have a special guest, which is Doug Shalene. You mentioned
Right.
Doug earlier, and you have a lot of volunteers. I didn't ask you this. I didn't prep you for this. Do you have an idea, top of your head, how many hands or well, if I said hands, you'd have to divide by 2. So let's
Right,
just say
that's
how many
tough.
people are involved.
Oh, I should have that number, Mike, but I don't. But it's well over 20, maybe even more than that, because we have people who drive to Wichita every Thursday, because if we go down there at least once a week, the food bank warehouse has things that they have that they give away, but you got to go down there to get them. There are things that come from Walmart in Wichita and Sam's and Costco and Dillon's that are right up against the expiration dates, or bakery items past 1 day. The food bank in Wichita then freezes all that stuff, bakery and bread, and we can go. Gene has made several trips down there. Rex Wilson makes a trip down there. Lawrence Volbrecht has gone. I've gone down. Bill, I mean, just over and over
We do
again.
this in Marion. If you say Margot, everyone knows you mean Margot Yates. And if you say Gene, everyone knows you mean Gene Winkler.
Winkler, yeah.
And we probably ought to give Gene Winkler, because I know Gene takes his trailer, I think, and goes
Yes.
down and picks things up.
That's when one of the real bonuses from our affiliation with MAC was that we are now under the umbrella of an organization that has a 501c3 designation. And it takes that to even affiliate with the Kansas Food Bank warehouse in Wichita. Once you have that affiliation, you not only can go down and pick up their freebies, you can order from their quite extensive list, about 3,000 pounds, 3 different times, 1,500 to 1,300 to 1,500 pounds that we may have spent $1,100 or $1,200 for.
Wow.
That's a pretty good price.
That's a pretty good price, yeah.
And what we buy down there are all canned goods, things that are non-perishable.
So you use donated funds, you purchase perishable items from Carlson's Grocery in Marion.
Right.
You use the Kansas Food Bank resource. You mentioned Walmart. Let's talk about Invest an Acre.
Okay. That's another bonus of being under MAC and having a 501c3. Through our affiliation with the Kansas Food Bank, we can take advantage of a program sponsored by the Monsanto Corporation that allows us to take whatever donation we get here, send it to them, make the check out to Invest an Acre, and they will match whatever we send them in a credit to the Kansas Food Bank that we can draw against. We've had several donations like that. I would hope that we'd have some more. One of the donations we've had like that was a $500 challenge grant from Don and Benny Freesting that we haven't matched yet because it came right in the middle of our fall harvest campaign, the red barrels and all of that, and I didn't want to get mixed up with that. I did at the fish fry out at the lake with the Legionnaires, hit them all up and to match because Don had provided most, if not all, the fish for that.
Oh.
So I got about $100 from that. So I still have $400 of that match that if anybody listening here want to send us a check, we'd be happy to.
So you got $500 on the table, which will get you $1,000 worth of food from the Kansas Food Bank.
But that's the only place we can spend that.
Okay.
I can't spend that money at Carlson's.
And if folks donate enough to match that 500, then you got $1,000 you can take and get $2,000 worth of food.
My hope is though we'll double Don's and to 1,000, and if I get the match, I'm going to leave that here in our local treasury so that we've got money to spend for perishables at Carlson's.
Okay. Okay. Someone watching this would like to assist. They want to write a check. Doesn't matter if it's $5 or $500. Where do they send it?
Box 153, Marion, Kansas. That's Brother Winkler's post office box. He's a treasurer of MAC. If you want to do Invest an Acre, the check must be made out like that.
Okay.
Invest an Acre. And you can send it to Gene and he'll get it where it needs to be.
So don't write it to Marion Food Bank. Write it to Invest an Acre.
Right.
Okay. That's the
If you want it to stay here, we'll spend it here at Carlson's. Just make it to the Marion County Food Bank. We'll still send it through the MAC to Touch MAC, especially if somebody says they want a tax break on that. If you want that, make it to MAC, Marion County Food Bank, and send it to G.
Okay. Last couple things. When you got started on this process, and you mentioned MAC, which I mentioned before, is a local community foundation designed to benefit Marion and the surrounding area, particularly young people in the area. And two of the members of the board that you worked with were Todd Heitschmidt and Roger Holter. And I think you wanted to at least credit them, I think, for being, if not the driving force, certainly instrumental in this change and opening up the Resource Center to a lot more people.
Yes, they were the ones who contacted me. I think the whole MAC organization needs to be applauded for their foresight in seeing a need that was being met, but not to the ends that it needs to be by the Valley Church Food Bank.
Last thing I want to hit you up with, Jerry, I told you I'd keep this short, and I lied. But, hey, too late now. You can't run away. The door's between, I'm between you and the door. Volunteers.
We could not do without them. We have people that, 3 and 4 people each week, twice a week, serving neighbors there. If you want to volunteer, give me a call. My phone number is in the book. My wife takes care of that. Kathy has been coordinating volunteers since we
Well, let's
we
stop
started.
you. That's Jerry with a G,
Yeah,
or Gerald.
Gerald and Kathy Henderson, 382-2704. If you want to write that down real quick.
and you have a lot of volunteers that are helping. You can always use more, and you had mentioned Doug Shalene's name came up.
Right.
Doug is representative of the type of folks that are involved with the organization,
Right.
and you strong-armed Doug. He came kind of unwillingly, but we're going to talk to Doug in just a moment. Any last thoughts that you would like to share with us, Jerry?
No, other than I appreciate, Mike, the opportunity to talk about the food bank with the people of the community. It is something that I believe in wholeheartedly. It's a mission for me. The fact that we call it the Marion County Resource Center and Food Bank is by design. We don't want to stop with just feeding people. We hope we can expand that to help people where they get to the place they don't need the food bank. That's our final goal.
Outstanding. Jerry, thanks for being here. And we will be right back to conclude this episode of The Corner. Pay attention to these messages and join us for a real quick end to our show.
We are committed to delivering the most reliable service and original, creative programming and better quality choices.
To not just meet but exceed your expectations so you can choose your own entertainment when, where, and how you want it, anywhere and anytime.
With individual plans that allow you to pick your services and have access to customer service 7 days a week.
Because you deserve the best value in entertainment, and it's our job to deliver it. No exceptions, no excuses.
We are Eagle Communications.
This broadcast is sponsored in part by Prairie Land Partners, the largest John Deere dealership in south central Kansas, specializing in large ag, turf, and integrated solutions products. Prairie Land is always close by with 9 locations and more than 250 employees. Prairie Land Partners, partnering together with you to nurture the land. Right here at home, Marion National Bank supports the Marion community and the area. Committed to serving the financial needs of our community since 1905, Marion National Bank offers full-service banking, including agricultural, commercial, consumer, real estate, and loans for any worthwhile purpose. Meeting all of your banking expectations, Marion National Bank, your neighborhood bank. Lanning Pharmacy brings something old and something new to MCTV sponsorship. Longtime sponsor Marion Health Mart is now Lanning Pharmacy, a full-line pharmacy accepting almost all major insurance plans. Newly remodeled and offering everything from flu shots to medical equipment, Hallmark cards, gifts, toys, and expert advice on all your pharmaceutical needs. Lanning Pharmacy supports the Warriors and Wildcats of USD 408. Triple R Hauling is your hauling expert, offering custom step deck hauling in more than 27 states. Triple R Hauling will handle your heavy equipment, military equipment, farm machinery, and most any item you need moved. Hauling specialty and emergency loads, ramp use, bridges, and tarps are available if needed. Call Wally or Kim at 382-7802 and get things moving. Shelter Insurance is one of the most successful and financially sound regional insurance groups in the country, providing insurance products specifically designed to best suit you, including protection for your home, life, car, farm, business, and more. Drop in and see Shelter Agent Doug Heary for great rates and professional service. Doug will help you find the right coverage at the right price. Just as the Warriors practice and play hard to achieve success, the folks at Heary Real Estate work tirelessly to meet your needs. From listing to closing, Lori Heary and her agents are there to help you. Buying or selling, they will make sure your real estate transaction is a smooth one. Heary Real Estate, serving Marion and all of Marion County.
The men and women of Marion Kiwanis Club are proud to support MCTV. Marion Kiwanis Club sponsors the annual Old Settlers Day weekend and provides financial support to Chingawassa Days and countless other organizations benefiting the area. Call 382-2115 for info on tent, chair, and table rental. Marion Kiwanis, dedicated to providing service to children and local communities.
Welcome back. We want to take just a moment to follow up on a few of the things that Jerry Henderson said in our earlier conversation. And Jerry talked about the many volunteers that work with the Marion County Food Bank. And we have one of those volunteers here at this time, Doug Shalene. And Doug, you are an old Marion County kid. I emphasize the word old.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Which means that against all odds, you've survived.
I have.
So far.
And no pun intended or no kidding intended, when we talk about surviving against all odds, many of the people that are being served by the food bank are certainly people that are fighting against some pretty tough odds in order to do that. People that are taking care of not only themselves but their children and others, and sometimes we all need a helping hand, and that kind of takes me into what Jerry had talked about with regard to the volunteers. You are one of those helping hands. Why do you do that?
It just seems important to me that there was a moment in our lives as married couple that we had a financial crisis, and things were very tight and were very tough, and I was too proud to say anything, and we had an anonymous gift of food and cash to help us get over a very difficult period of time, and that's why I don't feel as though there's any shame or any reason. I understand. I've been there myself. And those individuals that come in are truly needing some assistance, and there's no problem with going in and getting that assistance, because I think we've all been at times in a position where we just don't know how the ends are going to be made. There's not enough paycheck left in the month.
Doug, we prepped a little bit before we started this interview. I told you that some of what I was going to ask you. I told you I was going to ask why you volunteer. Didn't know the answer. That kind of catches me off guard, and it didn't choke me up, because as you know, it'd take a lot to choke me up. But
Well, I could.
Well, I don't mean choke me out, Doug. But that's pretty powerful, and I appreciate your being willing to admit that. What is it that you do for the food bank?
I do very little as far as most of the volunteers that are involved. There are some individuals that are there every Monday, every Thursday, really just doing whatever needs to be done. I made a commitment, just internal commitment, that I would try to donate one Thursday every other week. Since I do have the business in Durham, it's a little bit of a drive to get down, so it pretty much wipes out my afternoon. But it's just so rewarding that I can show up and I've got just enough knowledge on how to break down boxes and how to choose between corn and peas and know how to run a scale, and then once we've got everything faced and in place, I can help with actually checking the individuals in, making sure that they have the proper number of adults and children recorded on their sheets. And then as it slows down, if there's time allowing, just kind of go out and help, make sure they've got a 5-pound bag of potatoes and make sure they can get some apples. And I've run into several individuals where you just feel like there should be more you can do, and so I'm actually kind of praying for an opportunity that there may be another opportunity out there on more of a personal basis that that I can do more to assist.
Let's. I probably should have started with this, but you grew up in this area. Just give me your rundown here. You graduated from Marion High.
Born and raised, graduated in '83. I like to say I moved off to find my fortune, and after about 25 years, I basically just stayed alive, and am actually still living back in the farmhouse I grew up in, sleeping in the same bedroom I grew up in. And Marion is just very important, very near and dear to my heart, that we've got to treat each other with respect. We should do unto others as we would like to be treated, and that we should love our neighbors as ourselves. And those are the guiding principles that I think we need to take into an endeavor like this, so that we serve and we do our very best, our utmost for those individuals that maybe even temporarily need a little grace and a little assistance.
Former Economic Development Director for Marion, former City Administrator for Marion. Now you picking up cans alongside the road. What do you do for a living?
Well, I do that when the sales are low. Actually, I've got Donahue Manufacturing up in Durham, Kansas, and shameless plug, agricultural trailers, stock trailers, flatbeds. And it's just been the best 2 years of my life. And I really felt as though God has led me into that position and that He has blessed me in that. And I owe it to somehow return a little bit of that to other individuals that may be needing help.
One of the things that we talked about with Jerry a little bit earlier was the Marion Advancement Campaign. We call it MAC, which is, and again, I'll go back into this because it's a local community foundation. Its intent is to allow the tax-deductible donations to come in and then be used to advance people and Marion itself, but emphasis primarily on children, but not exclusively children. And you were a former member of MAC, board member, and I know you left when basically your days were spent in Durham, and you, at that point in time, you wanted to make sure that business took off.
It's kind of important.
Kind of important, yeah. You were giving back in a way, I think, by being a part of MAC. Now you've just kind of put that on steroids, taking it to another level, perhaps?
I'm not very good with organizations and decisions by committee, and so I feel like I, as an individual, may be a little more effective. But I do want to throw a bone out to MAC because it would be very difficult for that food bank to be where it is now had MAC not helped support us when we initially started as a youth center. So much of the renovation and the facilities were already in place that were able to easily move in, have that wheelchair accessibility, have the better storefront for accessibility, and MAC was very vital in helping get that going and is still helpful in doing the food bank.
I promise you we keep this short. So I'll give you the opportunity, Council, to summarize if you wish to.
Okay.
But first, I guess this is kind of that, suggestions. If somebody out there is watching and hearing this, obviously they can write a check, and Jerry talked a little bit about the Invest an Acre program, but another Doug Shalene who maybe is trying to get something going can't write a check for $100 right now, but wants to do a little something.
We're getting out of the season right now, but usually in August in the country downtown, you got to leave your windows rolled up, otherwise you'll find your car full of zucchini. So there's a very good opportunity there if you do have excess produce. I know we're getting near the end of that run now. I think of we actually go out and butcher cattle and butcher a hog. If it was in somebody's mentality to say, hey, I would like to give 10% of the processed meat to the food bank, it would be a welcome addition. I'm sure we could calculate somehow a monetary value for tax purposes. A lot of it is showing up. I would caution showing up. Please consider the struggles that the individuals are coming into the door with. You really got to leave your prejudice at the door, and there's no judging, and there is just a sense of helping, and but there's always room for more people. And checks are nice too.
Checks are nice. Doug, I want to just say thanks to you for stepping up. I know Jerry was very complimentary of you, and I think Jerry wanted you to be a part of this, not as a tribute to Doug Shalene, but as an example of some of the dozens of people that are helping. And so you're representing a lot of other people. I think you could have found a better looking example, but it was his choice, not mine.
Yeah, I have the face for radio.
That'll conclude this portion of the corner. We would invite you to check back with us in just a moment after these messages.
The Marion High School Boosters are always there to support the students of Marion High in all their activities. Parents, grandparents, patrons of the district, and anyone wishing to support young people striving to excel are welcome to join the Warrior Nation. Buy some Warrior gear and show your colors. Come to a play, a game, a concert, or any other activity. Help boost the Warriors.
Check out Marion County Ace Hardware on Highway 56 north of town for all your home improvement, camping, lawn care, and other hardware needs. Marion Ace Hardware is a member of the largest retailer-owned hardware cooperative in the industry. They are committed to being the helpful place by offering knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. Helping you is the most important thing they do every day. At Marion County Ace Hardware, Carlson's Grocery supports the Marion Warriors, the Center Cougars, and all the people and organizations of the area. Carlson's offers a full-service grocery store with small-town friendliness and big city selection. Newly remodeled, Carlson's Grocery has a great variety of all your favorites. Fresh produce, an outstanding deli, and mouth-watering catering are also available at Carlson's. Carlson's Grocery, everything you need right here at home. Hannaford Abstract and Title is a trusted name serving people in the region since 1871. They provide abstracts of title and title insurance, along with real estate closings for your transactions. With the latest in leading-edge computer technology, Hannaford Abstract will continue to be dedicated to providing the very best of service for years to come, and to supporting students of MHS. Marion Die and Fixture is a Bradbury Group company that manufactures a wide range of custom dies and fixtures for metal forming applications. The dedicated employees and management place an emphasis on quality. Marion Die and Fixture is a proud supporter of the Marion community.
Donahue Manufacturing continues the tradition of quality trailer manufacturing which began over 50 years ago. Located just outside of Durham, Kansas, Donahue builds a full line of agricultural, industrial, and utility trailers. Continuous product evaluation and quality improvements ensure that you get maximum value for your trailer purchase. Please visit our website at donahuetrailers.com or call us toll-free 1-800-457-7406. When there's work to do, Donahue.
Welcome to Lumberyard in Hillsborough, Kansas, in Marion County. My name is John Heffley, president and owner, and I'd like to welcome you and show you some of the services we have to offer here. We're a full-service lumberyard. We do paint, lumber, hardware. We have free delivery in Marion County. We have a lot of options to show people. We have a showroom for kitchen and bath. We are just a full service, and we'd love to have you come take a look at us and shop Marion County.
Welcome back. We hope you have enjoyed this episode, or this edition rather, of The Corner. We've talked before about the fact that The Corner deals with Marion County and the city and the surrounding area. We try to talk about things that might be of interest to you. We try to talk about things that might be helpful to others. And certainly I think we have hit a home run tonight in our interviews with regard to The Corner. We want to thank Jerry Henderson, not only for his work with the food bank, but also for bringing Doug Shaleen here tonight, who also is representative of the great people working on the Marion County Resource Center and Food Bank. And we want to remind you, P.O. Box 153, Marion, Kansas. You can send donations. If you have questions, you can contact Jerry Henderson, as he said, Gerald and Kathy Henderson in the Marion phone book. They'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. A great group of people working on a great cause, and we're very proud to have them here in Marion. Last shameless plug, we've talked a little bit about MAC, the Marion Advancement Campaign. It is a community foundation. You make a deduction, you make a contribution, it is tax deductible. It helps Marion people and efforts within the city of Marion. We would, if you want information about that, you can contact Jerry and he'll put you in touch with myself or Gene Winkler. We are board members for the Marion Advancement Campaign. It's an organization that has done a lot of things. I won't go into that right now, but we can give you information at any time if you want to know about what MAC does, and in addition to its assistance to the food bank. So with that, we invite you to join us on MCTV 20. That's MCTV20.com. Check out The Corner, past episodes, and our other things that we offer here on MCTV. Check out Channel 20 on Eagle Communications Cablevision, and join us again for The Corner.